And why don't you take it away?
Great, thanks very much. Happy New Year, everybody, and happy Kwaai Day. And you can hear from my voice that I've had a raucous celebration of the New Year coming in. In fact, family, feasting, and flu are my recollections of going to Cape Town. It was an epic trip. Flew to London, had Christmas Day, a family meal in London, and then Christmas night we flew to Cape Town and spent an exhilarating time. Lots to unpack, metaphorically and physically. And it wasn't all vacation. There was some work that I was doing there, lots of discussions about Kwaai, lots of offers for funding, and which was just unsolicited. This is fantastic. And we shot some footage out there, and hopefully we'll distill that into some marketing material to get our message over. Gosh, I'm so thrilled about starting the new year, even though the agenda shows here 2023. We are now 5 days into 2024, and we are looking forward to a year of, I think the big emphasis this year is going to be fundraising. And so we start, I'm in the process of filling out the form, the 1023 form. I thought I would have had it filled out by now, but it's not. It requires a financial projection, and so there's quite a bit of work to it. So let's see. The need for what we're doing is stronger now than ever, and it is quite clear that when I reflect on my time in South Africa, that there's the difference between having a theoretical and fuzzy goal, like I expressed back in July when I started this, to democratize AI. It sounds very esoteric and non-specific. And when I reflect on when democracy came to South Africa, the end of apartheid, the Nelson Mandela forms the first government. What did it mean, and what does it have to mean to average individuals, to consumers, and to citizens, and to the rank and file? Democracy is a fuzzy term. What it means, the same way that we've made the meaning of democratizing AI, we've turned it into something that is meaningful to individuals. We translate that term into personalizing AI. AI, now it's personal. And we need to get that message over, that now it's personal. In the same way that bringing democracy to South Africa was not just giving every person one vote, one person, one vote. That was not sufficient. There's service delivery. There's making sure people are housed and schooled and everything. So you translate an esoteric term into something that's meaningful to individuals and actually changes their lives. So getting that message out of personalizing AI is going to be a challenge for us, but that's the challenge we need to rise to. So all of our marketing experts that are on the call, we're going to be reaching out to them so that we can get that message out very strongly. I think that's the message that's going to resonate, and that's going to be the one that helps us get funding. So, gosh, every time I mention, when I was traveling, mentioned Kwaai, the whole concept, I've got lots of feedback and lots of either offers to talk or to partner for legal representation, all sorts of stuff. So I'll fill you in with more of those details. Other good news, while we were away, Scale said that they'd like to host our Q1 summit. and that would be on the March 14, the Thursday. So the opening day of Scale, they'd like to host our Q1 Summit. Thank you very quickly for creating the poster there, Matt. And so that'll be in Pasadena, and that'll be March 14. So mark your calendars. We might partner with another, they said another volunteer of theirs has created an AI program. We might partner with them. But they're providing us with a conference space and a lecture hall and so on, much like the space we had at College of the Canyons. Okay, so that's it from me. Matt, I'm going to pass back to you.
Well, great segue or comment here, not on the agenda, but Serge, I see that you're here as well as Toby. Serge, did you want to just say a few words on kind of the consumer focus and Kwaai.org, kind of what you're working on? Be a good time.
I can. And let me just swallow this thing of breakfast. I always have breakfast at the time that we have this meeting each week. I'm so sorry about that. Yes, folks. I was planning to do a lot more of this before Christmas. I had a tragedy during Christmas, which I don't really want to go into, but let's just say I'm still dealing with that. But the plan has been clear. And actually, just echoing some of the words from Razor about sort of the messaging going out. A lot of it appears like very general and very vague, and that's the way it's got to be, because that's where the project is right now. Okay. But really, one of the things that I want to do, I think we'll have technical conversations fine. The languages we're speaking and what we're communicating in our group, excellent, right? Good. But on the outside, we've got to bring in and get this message out to people for whom it's really going to have an impact, right? It's like Linux. And there's actually, I was writing a copy this morning for the site. Linux, tens of trillions of dollars worth of impact on the world. But we don't even know it or attribute it or really understand it. A few of us do. It's in everything from your iPhone to Android. Android is essentially a rip-off of Linux, right? But it empowers, it makes a lot of things happen. It doesn't make things specifically, but it makes a lot of things better. And that's essentially what we're trying to head to on a bigger Gestalt scale with what we're doing here with this. I want to get that out. And the way to get that out at the moment is some of the visions that people in our team are having. Like Brittany, she's got ideas about how we will interact with it and use it. I'm actually talking to a broken laptop screen at the moment because I know the camera's there, but I'm actually looking at your faces over there. So forgive me if my lines keep darting, because I just want to make sure the message is getting across. But Cyan, he's at least starting with and doing something with a product around email, a real pain point for people, communications. So doing short videos of these, getting them together with visions, and then, edit, and former BBC producer and all that. I'll get them out, put them on there. In terms of the website, we've got a great little website which Razor and his son have produced, which have been wonderful. I'm just going to gussy it up a bit. I'm going to add one more video to it, which is going to be a simple video, either myself or Brittany or somebody just saying very clearly, Kwaai is this. We have a vision to produce this. We're here right now, but we need your help. And if you can't code, then donate money, vice versa, or etc. Or if you can't even do any of those, but you have a great vision, share that vision with us, get involved with the community. But the idea is to bring more people in to help get things going. And that's really at the short of it and stuff of it. And then after that, there are some meetup groups and stuff that we're planning. I'm actually currently helping the former Churchill Club in Silicon Valley to get a new program together. And also one of my old professors from MIT who's running the Bay Kai group on human interfaces, and immense guy. But he got Peter Norvig in, and he had like 7 people turn up. And I was like, Ted, you need to organize a bit. And he said, can you do it? I said, sure. So I'm going to get help with organizing that. So there's a really big opportunity to put this on the back of that for the meetup in the Bay Area. And also I'm getting involved in setting my own meetups back up here in Portland, Oregon. So I also wanted to say, who else in Kwaai is in Portland?
Well, no, because it was part of the protocol. You have to bring in the head of state and sing the national anthem. And we thought we'll do something different.
Somebody's listening to the BBC? Shoot me down. Come on, give me some entertainment while I eat my breakfast.
No, that's great. And Toby, love the celebration. Karsten, great thoughts in the chat as well. Serge, where are you kind of organizing the
Toby, I was going to say, Toby, say a few words, because he actually runs meetup groups currently and is community lead, right?
Toby,
Yeah.
Toby, yeah, go ahead, Toby.
Yeah, and we got a couple of people that are willing, like our buddy Dave Nielsen, who runs like one of the largest meetups in the Bay Area, 4,000 plus DevOps people. He's head of dev relations.
Did you say Dave Nielsen?
Yeah, Dave Nielsen, exactly. You know Dave. So
I know him
Dave's my
very well.
pro, and Dave is all on board. So we are scheduling a call this week.
Right.
You want to get on it, Serge? You're welcome to hop on it with us.
Yeah, I will. I missed Dave for a lot. That's great.
I'll get you in a chat. I'll do it on LinkedIn.
Brilliant.
All right.
Fantastic. And Karsten, anything you want to add here?
Dave's great.
Yeah, let me just step outside. Just that I just expand on what I wrote in chat. Serge, I'll reach to you outside, but in terms of the kind of contributions that people can do, I think we can kind of specify a very inclusive message, and then also when people come looking, they'll also be able to see those kind of pathways, because we want help with marketing, and we want help with all the material, all the things across the base. I mean, coding is obviously super important, but just doing that from the beginning helps a lot. I know you know that. Oh, you're on mute. And Serge, you're on mute.
Serge, you're muted.
So the problem with interface, Discord, and iLines. Sorry, at the same Carson, I wholly agree with you. I'm with you on that. This is my world, the technical world, but what I learned doing the cloud computing conferences and all that was, and with Dave Nielsen, that's why I was smiling so broadly. If you don't get the message out to the people who are the end customers, none of this infrastructure and stuff will matter, because it won't get made. You've got to show them the vision of where it's going, and they will then draw and pull you along, right? In those tough times. So I'm totally with you, Carsten. I was going to say, I really want to try and attack more the broader group, because they will generate the motivation for the technical group. I would love to connect with you, Carsten, on a call.
Yeah, that is 100% the method. Like, put users first and what users need, and just make sure that when people want to contribute and participate and they come looking, they find the kinds of materials. That's basically it. So I was just offering to help you with that message.
We don't have anything even technical to communicate yet. We've got some ideas, some architectures, and some experiments, and that's great. But to the rest of the world, and especially our moms and other people, they're like, "Oh, that's nice."
Yeah. Yeah, I'm totally on with you. Yeah, and I'll be happy to help you with any of the copywriting
and great to see the work group forming up here. Super critical for Q1, especially leading up to scale. So thanks to everyone. Brittany, I see you're on. Did you have a few words to add about the open source licensing poll and update? I'll put you on the spot here. Maybe unable to pop in. Let's pop through to sorry, Brittany. The poll's still active. We could use some more responses. Don't be shy. Go place your votes. Put your opinions in. If something there that you think is not represented well, please jump into Slack and do that. We haven't sent around any type of other email or anything like that, any other call to action. Perhaps we can do that here following, just to get some more responses. But really critical that we have more than just a handful of folks weighing in on this decision with some feedback.
Matt, let me suggest we set a deadline for that vote.
Wonderful. Why don't we set a deadline for next Friday?
Perfect. Okay.
Wonderful. Let's continue. Diego, yeah, there you are, Diego. Why don't you give us an update? I heard a great secondhand update. Would love to hear about the AI and Life Sciences meeting this week.
Yeah. So hi everyone. Let me share. Can I share my? Oh, I cannot share my screen, my presentation. I just had 2 slides to share with everyone about the discussion from yesterday.
Sure, Matt. Can you make him co-host? And
I wish I could. I don't see that it's not.
Let's see.
Can you use that presenter button there, Diego?
Not yet.
You have to unshare your thing. Oh right. Why can't we make?
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. I might not be logged in here. If you're logged in, Riza, you might be able to.
I'm logged in as me, but I don't see. Oh, you have to make me co-host for me to be able to do that. Yeah.
Well, I'm not entirely sure. I was able to get the I'm the meeting host here. Let me try one more thing.
That's
Okay,
all
there we go.
Okay. No, I
Sorry about that, guys.
No worries. Let's see. I can see this one. Okay, there you go. So yesterday we had an interesting discussion in the group, in the subgroup. So if you were in the AI for life sciences subgroup, you will know that one of the things we were discussing was to how to incorporate healthcare related information into a PA, personal assistant. And this can be, for example, information about medicines or information about diseases, etc. This is a diagram of an example of what we want to do first, which is an assessment of these LLMs, but just as is. So this will be the first experiment we want to do. So without providing any information about the context of the questions, let's say we want to know how well ChatGPT can answer questions about side effects of medicine. So this is how a user might use this tool. So first, of course, we need to design queries. So we have not done this yet, but these are just examples. So let's say here you have drug A, and this is known to cause several side effects. And then what you will ask to the PA is, does this drug causes this side effect, or tell me all the side effects that are associated to this drug, etc. And of course, from this, we can compute an accuracy, a number that tells us how well the tool or the personal assistant is able to answer these questions. So another interesting thing was that yesterday we say, okay, now let's try to feed some contextual information to the model before we ask the queries. And this is very interesting because, especially for drug-related information or for medicines, there is a lot of information out there. We have drug databases. We have, for example, the website from NHS, but there are many other websites that we need to see if we can get access to some API to query that data and see how can we structure it to feed the model. And then, of course, our hypothesis is that after we feed this contextual information, the accuracy should be higher. This is just an example, right? So here I put 40%, and here we expect a higher accuracy, right? So here, there are some questions, of course, that we have about this experiment is, for instance, how to structure the contextual information, which database should we use, or does it make a difference in terms of accuracy, and if not, why, right? So what are we doing wrong? Because in theory, it should do some difference. And this is basically the summary of, this is just an example, and there are many other data sets and questions we could start asking and designing for this PA, healthcare-oriented PA, let's say. That's it.
Fascinating, Diego. Thank you. Just curious, how you think Pi fits in to the equation here.
Sorry, what do you mean by
the personal AI being built? Curious if there's another phase of this experiment or element involving personal AI.
I think for personal AI, we need to first finish this assessment, and then depending on how this model behaves with the contextual information, we will know how to start feeding more personal information into this. We need to design a series of experiments that are oriented towards more personalized question answering.
Fascinating.
I don't mean to prejudge the whole thing, but what I gleaned from yesterday's meeting, and I joined a bit late, was the opportunity for us to have drug side effects, your own personal drug reactions or reactions to drugs being stored in your own pod. And so imagine an app where you're going to a pharmacy, or let's say you are abroad and you go and you develop a cold, and you go to a pharmacy and they give you some over-the-counter medicine. You want to know, okay, are there any ingredients in here that I'm allergic to? So you've got a mobile app and you scan the barcode, and it should just be able to tell you that. It should be able to say, no, it's got an ingredient in here that you previously reacted to. So how do we get there? How do we train such a thing on our own personal information, and how do we use it in the field? If such a thing can be built, that would be another compelling example of personal AI.
Yeah,
I think it's part of your personal ontology. To be honest, like if we think about it, we're building an ontology. We're talking about communication right now, but literally this goes back to my ontology about me, right? Like I would publish all this information into my pod, and then these other agents should be able to interact with my pod. And that's how I see it.
And in markets where
Hold on. Christian's got his hand up. He's doing this properly. Waiting patient. Christian,
sorry,
let's hear
Christian,
Sorry.
Okay, thank you. I just want to say that I have a little experience in this field because with my students, we did different theses regarding these topics, and I can confirm that if you inject much more information, the accuracy will grow up. Also, we are studying with NASA in order to scrape all the scientific research done by NASA in the Gene Lab experiments, and we set up a specific database that is able to scrape the entire websites and to produce an JSON or XML files that contains all the information all together, and also it's able to scrape the related paper publication, scientific publication, and so on. Our idea is now to study with different algorithms, not limited to ChatGPT, but for example, we use BERT, SBERT, and many times, because the future, it will be to catch the best results from each algorithms in order to have an ensemble algorithms that is able to match between the others. And our preliminary results are very comfortable because we can confirm that this Y to operate function. And also this is much more redundant because you know that actually the API of ChatGPT are for free, but maybe that tomorrow they will close them. So we cannot, how to say, to be attached to ChatGPT. We need to generalize with the different algorithms. So this is our idea. We can try to exchange, how to say, know-how regarding this. Also, we can try to, for example, to help the group to scrape other websites in order to catch new data set, in order to be ready for other kind of application. We will be very happy to share our knowledge.
I think that would be great, Christian. Can I answer that, Matt?
Yeah, please.
So we were also thinking on trying different LLMs, not just, this is just an example with ChatGPT, but I think that's a great idea. And if you already have experience on this, it will be great. You can join the SAC group actually on Slack, and then join us on the meetings.
And that was going to be the only thing that I was going to add was the recurring meeting on Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific. That's I think 5 p.m. in Italy. That will be the recurring time. There was a meeting yesterday, which was to kick it off, and then the recurring time will be Mondays at 8 o'clock in the morning Pacific time. And then, yeah, AI and life sciences is the Slack channel. I'll put it in the chat. Serge, you have your hand up?
I do. It was more of a question for actually for Christian, Dr. Andieri. Was so you're going to explore with LLMs and that algorithm, but I was going to say what you're trying to do seems to be more like deductive reasoning. So isn't like the traditional approach with rule bases and things like that a better way to figure out what's going on there? Because rule bases have shown an amazing, or like forward chain systems shown an amazing capability to figure out problem sets like this. And I thought the real thing with LLMs was the ability to add noise or hysteresis to the thing to get perceived creativity. So is that what you're really trying to do here? And this is more of a geek question. Like, I know you're trying to different algorithms, but do you have any response to that? Which is like, is LLM the best way to approach that problem, or is it actually a traditional method like rule bases or knowledge bases?
It depends, because if you have texts that are not structured, it's actually the best way.
Yeah.
But if we start from a labeled data set, we can reach much more better results. But the problem is to build
the labeled data sets. No, you're right.
A labeled one, because for example, when we say the accuracy of 70%, this is not a true accuracy. By the way, it's the accuracy of the algorithm, but it's not the accuracy of a doctor. This is what Facebook in the past failed. Because, too much generalization may be lost in a real accuracy, even if the algorithm accuracy it will be the best. Good. So my suggestion is to try to work in parallel with in order to build a data set, a labeled data set with doctors. We do that with the odontry because we begin to start to build a new data set in labeling the disease of teeth. But we involve the doctors. The doctors are instructed from our students in order to label each image. Because normally all is informatics that want to do all, but an informatic cannot label a data set that is a specific oriented. For example, in drugs or maybe in insanity in general, we need the expert.
Okay.
Great topic. I'm gonna put a pin in this.
All right. I was gonna say just very quickly for Christian on the funding channel. I put down an opportunity that came in from the Department of Energy, and really didn't say that you need to apply an LLM to energy, but they're saying is, can you figure out if an LLM is actually giving you bad answers or good answers using a red teaming method? So that might be an actually one to look at. But okay, that's great. Thank you.
Awesome. And great element tying that together with the funding opportunity there, Serge. Thanks for posting that grant in there. Balaji, did you have one other thing to add here before we move on?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to add a quick note. I think to the prior discussion, right, with this drug and stuff, I think the question whether you will have a reaction is probably dealt with a different technology. I think what would benefit is whether you may have a reaction, right? So I think the cost of making that prediction by the LLM has to be analyzed, and labeling and all that stuff will help. But what's the worst thing that's going to happen? The user is not going to have a reaction. That's going to leave them with a positive cost benefit, right, type of thing. So I just want to throw it in there, right? The creative aspect of LLMs can be used to say you may have a reaction, right, rather than saying you will. That's it.
Well said, and a good point on AI trust. Great. Let's progress on. I'm going to do a quick update for Lynn Hardy, who wasn't able to join today. Lynn is stepping up as the advisor leader for the front end. This is really the elements of Pi. That's the installation process. How are people going to discover what Pi can do for them? How are they going to get it started with Pi? How are they going to interact with Pi to get it both trained and then start using it? This is inclusive of the goal that we have for the Pi applications, the email communicator being kind of the first application. This, drug discover or drug interaction application being a potential second example, but really those user experiences kind of fall under the front end engineering group as well. Lynn kicked off the call on Wednesday. That's every Wednesday. Please join us. And she's going to take this and run this a bit like a scrum. So if you're wanting to get involved, there'll be our Wednesday meeting, which is kind of a scrum of scrums. And then there's going to be several sort of work groups that are forming up under Lynn's leadership in order to start getting some of the engineering work done. So I just want to provide an update on that. Please join us next Wednesday. Lynn has made the commitment to lead this group and help us organize these initiatives. And this is really just kind of splitting it off from a lot of the back-end work that Balaji and Ian and Jim and others have spent, Colin and others have spent so much time on. So that's the pod and everything behind the scenes, and then how are we going to interact with it. This, of course, dovetails into a lot of the work that Serge is doing on Kwaai.org. You know, consumers are going to have to come in and discover this, given that we're building a Linux of AI. You know, Linux was never that was never a consumer tool. You know, the consumers don't use Linux. And so, you know, what may have been missing, you know, let's consider thoughts around the education process and the installation process, how we package this application for distribution. We'll take a look at all of that in the front end group. I'll go ahead and pass it off to Annie here. Annie's going to give us the update on the back end.
Yeah, sure. Hi, good morning, everybody. Well, this is the progress update regarding Arcus Nexus team. And here we added a couple of tasks that are in progress. Like, for example, some of them are new, some of them are not. Like, for example, I'm still working in the generation of Gmail draft responses, as well as the email categorization. And for that, we added like another activity regarding the rolling out some emails, like, for example, spam, no reply, or unsubscribe emails that are not potential emails to create a draft. So for that, Emiliano and I, we are working on that. And regarding the detection of when a new email arrives, Alonso is working on that. The fine-tuning LLM, Jesus and Roy are taking that task, and Roman is taking the task of RAG Spike. And a couple of activities that are still pending is like create the roadmap and have our first official sprint, and create the ceremony calendar and define the UI. And I don't know if you can go. Yeah. So we basically split it up like in two main process. Like the first one is regarding the setup process, and in this first stage, we are saying that the first step is like obtain the IMAP credentials. That task is still in progress, but almost done. And the second step is like pull and format and store the user sandbox. That is also in progress. And for that, okay, yeah, once we have this sandbox information, then we are planning to trigger something to tell the API fine-tuning to execute, right? And the post setup, we are saying that we have to detect when the new email arrives to the user's inbox, and then we have to figure out like if that email is a potential email to create a draft or not. So for that, we are doing a kind of a categorized email process, and finally to create the draft response. And I don't know if you want to get like more details about these activities that we are working on right now, and the details I think are in our Trello board. Yeah, and that's it.
Awesome. Thank you, Annie. Great update. And you know what Annie and the Arcus Nexus team are organizing around is really our first demo at the Scale conference and at the next Kwaai Summit. And as you can kind of tell, it's building the plane as we're kind of flying it through the air here a little bit. We are looking at rolling out kind of an end-to-end experience with the communications assistant to give people an understanding of what a personal AI assistant can do for them. Meanwhile, of course, Balaji and the team are working on setting up the back end in order to make this whole engine work and extend that to other user experiences. So really appreciate the thoughtfulness and the organization around this, Annie, and the rest of the Arcus Nexus team.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Cool. So why don't we move on to some member voices today? Some great conversation already across life sciences and potential use cases for Pi. Let me pull the list back up. I didn't see any 100% new names, although there's some folks that there's Ty Green. If you'd like to introduce yourself, Ty. This is an opportunity. Please, use the virtual hand raise button, put yourself in the queue, share about yourself, what it is that you're working on. The regulars here, the regular members, please, feel free to raise your hand and share a little bit about, some of your latest discoveries and projects. And as this usually goes, if nobody responds, then I start calling on people. So, don't make me do that. There, thank you, Eunice.
Yeah, I got scared. I don't want to be called upon. No, just quick note that I will be in the Bay Area next week, and if there are any Kwaai members in the neighborhood, would love to meet.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to be there on the 10th for KaiFab's digital biology seminar. We've got a 5-minute slot at the end of it that we'll be using. Are you there at the same time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be with Kai as well.
Excellent. I'll see you there.
All right.
Awesome. Balaji, yes.
I have an update regarding the GitHub repository. The last check-in for last year, I made some changes, so now you can run that example completely locally, or you can use OpenAI. So with those two options there, I think it gives some sort of framework for others to play with it and get their hands dirty.
Fantastic. Yeah, Balaji, you want to say a few more words about, what that is, where folks can find it?
It's I'll post it's the same Pi Assistant GitHub repository as before. I have updated the documentation there. Let's find the link.
Yeah, I just pulled it up on the screen there.
Right. So that's the repository that I keep checking in code to. I updated the documentation, how someone can download. You need a machine with a GPU to run if you want to run it locally. But if you don't want to run it locally, you can change a flag and run it with OpenAI as well. I think I added detailed instructions to the README document. If anything is missing, let me know. But I encourage people who are interested to try this out.
That's great.
Fascinating. Thank you. I will definitely try this out. Great. Mohammed, would you like to introduce yourself? Lasani, I see you've joined as well. We haven't seen you in a while. Ping, would love to hear from you. Valentine.
Happy Friday.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, so things are going well on my end. Started working closely alongside Toby on Seedling Studio and some of the ventures that he's getting ready to spin out. So I'm legit wearing many hats. Yesterday, I was both a tax accountant as well as a lawyer. So we'll see what this upcoming week has in store for me. So that's what I'm working on from a professional standpoint. And then on a personal standpoint, I'm finishing up this grad school application. MIT is really the only school I'm going to apply to. That's the school that's on my heart. And then thankfully, as I said, I'm in an ideal position where I'm working at a venture studio, which is like what I want to do for like the rest of my life in terms of like the building and the mission. So pros and cons to that. definitely pros and cons. But yeah, things are coming along nicely on my end. And then this application will be finished by the 17th of January. So after that, I'll have more time to dive into seedling / working alongside Toby, as well as more time to work alongside the group.
And just so everybody knows, Lasani is going to start building the community for Kwaai in Tulsa as well. We haven't put the game plan together with you yet, but that's on the horizon because we'll probably be spending like 3 months out there for something I can't say yet, but it's looking really good. So
it's gonna be a great year, a busy year, but a great year.
Awesome. Valentine, I don't think we've heard from you before. Ty Green, I see a new name. Would love to hear from you both. You're not required. James, I see you on again. Would love to hear from you.
Hey guys, bad internet. It's one of those things. I'm actually wondering if anybody's going to be at CES or Digital Hollywood in Vegas next week. I'm going to be there for both events. Digital Hollywood is very focused on AI advertising. A lot of different corporations and brands are representing very well. So that's I'm looking forward to.
look for Kwaai sponsors and while you're there, Heinz.
Yeah, that's the opportunity.
Yeah, I'm going to be there on the 9th, and probably 9th, but only one day.
Okay.
On the 10th, I'm going to be in San Francisco, and then I've got other commitments back here. So
I think Mike Rubin's going to be out there as well, James.
yeah, Mike Rubin lives out there, and I think I'm going to be staying with him. Mike's not on the call today. Okay.
Okay. Hopefully we can connect while we're all in beautiful Nevada.
Beautiful Las Vegas conference room. Wonderful. Hey, Michael, Nathan, I see you joined. Welcome, welcome. Oh, and as I said that, he just dropped. Ramon, did you want to say a few words today?
No, just reaffirm that we are going in the right way. We are pushing forward to have a model to be shown. And I think we can create an excellent demonstration for the conference. I'm pretty sure that the hard work of all the team and all the collaborations will be gratified for all the community and on the conference.
Awesome, Ramon, and thank you. And we were looking at Ramon's UML documents, his diagrams for the user flow, and how those are put together. Really appreciate all the efforts that you put in there. Take a look at those in the channels. Mohammed, I saw you came off mute there. Did you want to say hello? Perhaps not. Michael, I saw your face pop up.
Yeah, sorry, I went to hit my unmute and I disconnected, so I just rejoined. No, I'm just really happy to start the year off with this group. Reza, welcome back. Hope you had a safe trip back, and the excitement around the momentum that we're starting this year off with on what this group has put together is impressive. And so looking forward to contributing in any form of fashion on the fundraise, on the go-to-market pitch deck, on the aspects of our why, make sure that we're clear, consistent across the board, why we do what we do, why what we do matters, and why should people care. And that high level just brings confidence across the board for everyone that we have assurance we're all on the same page. We all speak the same language, and we're on the same wavelength, right? That's the point.
Thank you, Michael. Why don't we, anybody else to kind of lead us off before Reza shuts us down today? Valentine, I don't think we've heard from you. This will be my last call. Mohammed, would love to hear from you. Pinar, you've been attending a lot of meetings. Would you like to share anything today? All right. Well, Riza, why don't you take us out?
Great, thanks very much. Happy Kwaai Day. 2024 is going to be our year. It's going to be a year in which we scale Kwaai considerably. It'll be, I'm going to put a number out there in terms of volunteers that have signed up by the end of this year. I'd like to get that to 1,000. So that is a big, bold, very quantifiable, smart goal. Okay. And we can do it. We can do it. We can rally people around this cause. Makes sense. It's compelling and it's necessary. As you all know, I returned from Cape Town and gave me a long time to reflect on broader topics. A lot of time to talk and describe what I'm doing to friends and family. It's often hard to describe it to an auntie who's in her 90s or an uncle similar age, but it resonated, and we have to get that message out. I think Nathan mentioned it. He said, "What is your why? What is your Kwaai? Why are we doing this? What is the purpose? Why does it matter to you?" You could go through life just saying, well, life sucks and there's nothing we can do about it. Well, we can. There's something we can do about it. If you organize and you form a movement and you have purpose, you can do something about it. In fact, it's your responsibility to do something about it and not just be passive and moan and grumble and wring your hands about it. Because look, the alternative, if you don't do anything about it, then the malevolent forces that are railed against you are going to win. It's interesting, I went to the UK and spoke to a number of friends, and this was a very divisive topic, the topic of Brexit. I was astounded to find out which of my friends were actually pro-Brexit and which weren't. Okay, and they made their arguments for or against. There was another group that didn't vote, that had an opinion and they didn't vote. And so, but they still felt that they could grumble about it. No, you can't. You've got to take action. You've got to take action. This is an altruistic intervention to counteract a threat, a looming threat that we all see. We don't know necessarily how to describe that threat, that anxiety around AI, but it's through discussion that we solidify that anxiety into concrete and practical actions that we can take. And we're doing that. We're doing that in our work groups. We're doing that by forming meetings and having discussions, not being dogmatic about things, not laying down the law too soon. It's important for us to have a forum where we can discuss these things, and then we crystallize those into messages that are consumable by the general public. And that's what we're going to be doing. And that's going to be, getting that message over is so vitally important for us to go and seek funding. So funding is going to be the big theme of 2024. And thank you all for coming along. I was really encouraged by the life sciences work group, how organically they were able to figure out a compelling need, this need to understand personal drug adverse reactions. And how can we build a database around that? How can we train a model that maybe learns our historical allergies for certain drugs, and then maybe we can use that to predict whether we're going to have a reaction to a different drug, but maybe we can look up what the ingredients are. That could be one way of doing it. These things probably exist in markets where you have a single payer socialized medicine environment. I know that in the UK, the National Health has for each individual a database, and they know, oh, you're allergic to this for this antibiotic, or you're allergic to this drug. But in the marketplace like the United States, where it is so fragmented, that personal data, that AI, is distributed amongst multiple vendors, multiple insurance or medical providers. So you've got no hope of having a coherent way of predicting what that adverse reaction is going to be. So it's important for you to own your own data. And data is intelligence. Artificial intelligence is nothing more than an array of weights. It's data. And it's those arrays of weights, that data, that you need to own. You need to own it about yourself, because there's no big brother government that's going to own it for you, or corporation that's going to own it for you. And in fact, it's dangerous if that is the case. So you should own it yourself. And we should empower individuals to own their own AI, maintain it in a self-sovereign pod, and create the automations to allow that pod to interact with third-party systems. Okay, my voice is going. I'm recovered from a pretty hideous flu that I got at the tail end of a vacation. It's one of the delights of international travel. But I came back just so energized for taking the movement further. I'm going to hand it back to you, Matt.
Well, let's take that message with us. Happy Kwaai Day, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, bye.
Later.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone.